Maybe I'm that friend that's too woke, but I honestly do not find what's funny with all of these different memes and videos villainizing and making fun of Cynthia Erivo. Like, obviously, you guys know what happened in Singapore with the whole incident with the fan, but these videos that have come out of it, and mostly it's from men who are dressing up as Cynthia and like pretending, with everything that's going on. I don't like it.
Today's society, there's a comfortability that we shouldn't have at all. Commenting on others' looks, appearance, what they think is going on behind the scenes, or health, or how they present themselves, from what you're wearing to your body.
People are not easing up on the Wicked cast, and the internet is buzzing with heavy concern for Ariana Grande, Michelle Yeoh, and Cynthia Erivo. The chatter is nonstop, and it's getting louder by the day.
Well, thank God Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande cleared the air by letting us know that they're in a non-demi-curious, semi-binary relationship. That totally cleared the air for me. I'm not confused at all anymore.
Ariana even tried to quiet the noise by reposting an old interview clip with Cynthia where she reminded everyone that people should never comment on someone else's body. But the conversation kept going, and something wild happened in that interview clip that needs to be talked about. On Monday, I dropped a video breaking down how fans believe the Wicked cast looks noticeably different now compared to when filming began, and that shift has sparked a wave of worry online. People aren't holding back either. The internet is overflowing with takes, theories, and speculation about what's going on with the cast's appearance.
It might be a few years from now, but when the glitter wears off or an NDA expires, we'll probably get the reasons as to why these two are acting the way that they are. I thought some people were exaggerating, but I just seen 3 clips back to back, and they're very emotional around each other. One sets the other off, automatically almost. I don't pay attention to her a lot, but recently I've seen Ariana is very childlike now. I thought she was more so reserved now because what happened in the past, but she's very much a kid.
And can y'all just stop making it harder than what it really is? Because it's very simple. They're in a non-Demi Lovato, Curious George, semi-bi-curious relationship.
Recently, memes of Ariana and Cynthia have been blowing up, and they weren't just playful. Some of them were flat out disrespectful.
No matter of fact, it's just, I don't like it. Some of the videos are funny. This one behind me, this video was hilarious when they were pretending to be Ariana and Cynthia, because the interviews are like that. But some of the ones that I'm seeing online, it's not right. I know, and the amount of likes and comments that are on these videos, I don't understand, because it really makes me uncomfortable. And again, maybe I'm sensitive, or maybe I'm being too woke about it, but I don't think so. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about it too.
It even looked like not only Ariana, but also SEA stepped in to indirectly speak on the situation. Cynthia has basically turned into a full meme online, with clips of her reactions and her protective energy toward Ariana during the promo tour being shared everywhere. People took those moments and twisted them into jokes that often painted her in a negative, exaggerated, or even villain-style way. To show her support, Ariana quietly liked a post calling out how these memes are portraying Cynthia in a harsh, masculinized, or villainized light. That small gesture spoke loud, and fans instantly picked up on it. It showed Ariana wasn't just watching all of this happen, she was backing Cynthia without needing to say a word. Ariana didn't publicly comment on the situation, but her liking that post spoke loud to fans. People instantly took it as a clear sign that she wasn't feeling the way Cynthia was being portrayed in those memes. Comments started pouring in fast, things like, Ariana liked this, so yes, she also doesn't like these memes. And Ariana liking this sad face. And Ariana liking this really says something. Fans read that double tap as intentional, not accidental. And like I mentioned before, Ariana wasn't the only one who stepped in. SZA also acknowledged the post and dropped a bold comment saying, "You're not bugging and no one is too woke. It's classic misogynoir, nothing else." She even added that she couldn't believe this conversation was still happening in 2025 and warned that people were going to look back later with major cognitive dissonance. She pointed out how wild it was that people were attacking Cynthia just for being black, bold, and nurturing, and said the whole thing needed to stop, LOL. People online have been non-stop analyzing Ariana and Cynthia's bond, posting clip after clip, and calling their interactions weird or confusing. The commentary hasn't slowed down, and every new video adds more speculation, more opinions, and more memes. The conversation has gotten so big that even casual fans know exactly what everyone's talking about. But recently, Ariana actually addressed her closeness with Cynthia herself. While appearing on Amy Poehler's podcast, she brought the topic up directly, clearly wanting to speak on it in her own words. She didn't shy away from the subject, she leaned right into it and gave some real context about how deep their connection runs. But that's the kind of talk that's been taking over the Wicked world this week. Ever since the movie dropped and the promo tour kicked off, there's been a new headline, a new clip, or a new theory about these women every single day. One moment people are going after Ariana, then the spotlight shifts to Cynthia for being protective, and then it turns into debates about how the whole cast looks. The noise has been non-stop, and the energy around them has been straight up intense. It's been wild watching the conversation jump from topic to topic, building momentum like it never takes a break. These ladies can't even breathe without the internet turning it into a full discussion. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think about everything going on with the cast this week? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I'm really curious to see where everyone stands on this. I appreciate you all so much, and we'll dive into the next update soon.
So I've been seeing a lot of talk about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's relationship, particularly from Black TikTok. And so I want to throw my hat in the ring as, I suppose, a member of Black TikTok, but a person with my own perspective, okay? And I'm going to throw in the fact that I'm a person with medical training and also who's like studying, counseling, human psychology, okay? First of all, being Elphaba and being Glinda, for both of these women, seem to touch like the deepest aspects of their sort of inner child work, okay? Like, inner child work is really like painful because they're both playing like younger versions of these characters and then who like kind of develop into these adult versions of these characters. And these women that have a lot in common with the characters. Cynthia is a person who is kind of different. She sort of doesn't conform to like normal beauty standards, and she's Nigerian American, so doesn't perfectly fit inside the Black community, but is like undeniably talented. The parallels with Elphaba write themselves, right? And Ariana's already talked about the way that she sees herself in Glinda in multiple different ways. So far as like Glinda is like this beautiful, well-liked, well-regarded person who was expected to perform in a certain way, but sometimes that's antithetical to her actual values. Like Ariana has already talked about how she considers herself to be like a thank goodness Glinda, as opposed to, a popular Glinda or something like that. So this is actually accessing like really the core of who both of these women are. And that's really deep work. And you have to understand that these women spent years together kind of ruminating in this state of mind. So that's going to create a bond, the likes of which outsiders are not going to fully understand. And then on top of that, add the fact that Ariana Grande, if you've been watching my series, has PTSD, okay? And I think that her PTSD probably gives her issues that a lot of us may not fully understand, all right? And what do I mean by that? PTSD causes like nervous system dysregulation. Basically, Cynthia herself has said in an interview, I found it today, where she says that in highly emotional moments, Ariana Grande needs like physical touch for grounding. And this is very common because when a PTSD patient is in like fight or flight, it can cause dissociation, disorientation, panic spirals, and physical touch or some kind of grounding mechanism. For some people, it's like pouring cold water over their hands. For some people, it's like wiggling their feet on the floor. But it's grounding. It causes like reorientation. It can prevent dissociation, and it can reduce panic spirals. And it can kind of keep the body from spinning out. Which, if you're watching my series, you'll understand that trauma causes a lot of fractures between like the mind, the emotions, and the physical body. And what ends up happening is that those edges are very sharp, and so they can really cause you to like spin out of control over like small things. I would not be surprised if for Ariana Grande, being in these large public spaces and being in these interviews might be triggering for her, right? Given what she went through in the Manchester bombing, and then also what she went through in general in the public space. And it also is probably quite hard for her to speak so rawly and so vulnerably about this Glinda stuff and about this inner child work, which again, for anybody would be very intense work, but for somebody who has trauma is going to be that much more intense, all right? I'm really not enjoying the Mammy narrative. Because I think it's nonsense, okay? I think that just because Cynthia and Ariana have entered into a relationship where somebody is being protective and somebody is more vulnerable doesn't mean that it has to be racialized, and it doesn't mean that they don't protect each other in ways that we might not see. Just because Cynthia is like physically protecting Ariana, I think the concept and putting that sort of mammy white woman concept onto them is actually racialized in and of itself. You know what I mean? I think it's very problematic. I don't like it. I think it's actually like what they're experiencing in their relationship is actually trauma informed. I think they went through massive emotional work together, and they held each other in their worst moments, and they built a genuine, albeit quite intense friendship inside their artistic work and also outside that will likely last in some form for the rest of their lives, you know? So at the end of the day, is it like at some level, is it trauma bonding? Yeah, kind of, you know what I mean? But I do also see it as like artistic partnership and deep friendship. I don't necessarily see it as dysfunctional, okay? I think that they both saw each other at their most vulnerable. And I also think that physical grounding is actually healthy. And just because to the outsider, it's like, oh my God, why is she always touching her, holding her? Are they lesbians? Are they this? Are they that? Nah, it's actually like, she's actually trying to help this girl ground, because like, y'all don't realize, like Ariana's got PTSD, and I did go over in my episodes, but y'all don't know how that is affecting this girl. I don't know how this is affecting this girl either. Like, this might be affecting this girl in ways that we don't fully understand or can't fully appreciate as outsiders. So I would suggest, out of sensitivity to this person's mental health and to what is going on here, like, I would suggest backing off, because y'all don't really know what's going on under the surface, okay? I don't really like it, you know? Because people are interpreting what really might be trauma physiology and like pathologizing it. I think that's very problematic. So in conclusion, I think we all need to be a little bit more sensitive, which is predominantly the message I tend to preach on my page anyway. And we all need to stop labeling things that we really might not know anything about, because y'all really don't know what's going on behind the surface with some of these people, okay? And really, they might just be in a relationship where they're both protecting each other because they did something really vulnerable and created something really beautiful together. So that's it. That's what I gotta say. That's my 10 cents. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye.